Guys, welcome back to Punch the Controller, episode number 8. It's been a little while since our last one. I kind of stopped doing the podcast for a little bit. But yeah, now that we are back with UFC 311. I want to say it was a good card. It was a great card in some circumstances. Otherwise, it can be compared to a good to average card, but we'll get into it in a second. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying these episodes of Punch the Controller, I would appreciate a like and a sub. And yeah, let's get straight into it. I was going to say something at the start. Letting the hair down, haven't got it tied back up. So yeah, enjoy the long hair. Yeah, it's good to be back. So let's run it. I believe I have 1, 5, 6 fights. So yeah, I believe we've got a fairly big episode. I'm hoping at least. So yeah, let's get back into it. Let's try not to lose our groove anymore. So the first fight I was mostly interested in was Peyton Talbot versus, forgive me for my pronunciation, Raoni Barcelos. Was very much, this was probably my main fight I was looking forward to. But yeah, so for those who have listened to previous podcasts, you guys will know that my favorite weight class is the bantamweight division, and Peyton has been on my radar for quite some time. I think I might have missed his Contender Series fight, but the fight he did with Cameron that he had with Cameron Simon, and there was another fight as well. But anyway, he's been on my radar. He's been my favorite fighter for a while now, ever since his last couple of fights. And he's now not my favorite fighter. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, man, this fight was, to me, it was disappointing. I had Peyton winning it. I believe, I didn't realize the odds were that big, but it looked like he was the biggest favorite on the card. And yeah, the way he lost was, in my eyes, he got out-wrestled, out-grappled. Raoni, I'm just going to say, if that's how you pronounce it, Raoni. I'm just going to say Barcelos. Barcelos didn't want to strike with Peyton at all, so he wanted nothing to do with it. And there's a few weird decisions made by Peyton. But yeah, going into this fight, I had Peyton by an impressive, I actually wrote down with my notes, impressive KO or go to a hard-fought decision. None of those things were true. None of those things happened. So early into round 1, Barcelos attempted a takedown, and then he got that. Mostly through all the rounds, Barcelos was just focused entirely on wrestling Peyton. Like I said, he didn't want anything to do with striking. In fact, there was not a lot of striking. I don't know how many significant strikes Barcelos threw, but there was not a lot of it, I'm telling you right now. But yeah, as Barcelos was getting the takedowns and grappling, I think he went for a few submissions, or it was getting close at least. And I thought, Peyton was doing well to survive. First round was very rocky from Peyton, but he survived. So he survived 3 rounds. And yeah, I was rooting for Peyton. I was getting nervous every submission attempt and choke attempt and everything. Yeah, I wanted Peyton to win. End of round 1, Barcelos wins the first round. Round 2, again, Peyton was not off to a good start. The only time Peyton was really winning was standing up, striking on the feet. Yeah. Barcelos is just... I haven't seen too many... I've seen Barcelos get knocked out, I believe. I can't remember who it was by. Was it by Umar? Or it was someone else. But anyway, yeah, I haven't seen a lot of Barcelos' fights. So I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure he's a wrestler, grappler. Well, after that fight, he has to be. Yeah, going into the third round, Peyton needed a finish because he was down on all the scorecards. Yeah, I follow Peyton a bit on his YouTube channel, and I actually like his videos. He's very, very trippy. It's like you're watching an acid trip times 10. That's what his videos are like. So they're cool. And he has showed off a bit of his training as well throughout them. So what I didn't see though was what I did see in the fight, was poor takedown defense from Peyton. It was very lackluster, not being shown a lot at all. So yeah. What else? Yeah, anyway, Peyton lost. We'll see what's next for him. I agree with a lot of people. Send him to Dagestan. Send him to the mountains somewhere. Give him a bit of time. Come back. And yeah, I reckon he's still, he's not a fraud. He's not a fraud in my eyes. He just needs a bit of time to recoup, go back to the drawing board, and definitely work on his wrestling. Number 1, his striking. He had good striking, probably not the best striking in this fight. I think the Cameron Simon, however you pronounce his last name, I think he had definitely showcases the striking better in that fight. I was cheering him on every time he threw a combo and stuff. I just think he needed to do that a little bit more. He could have got Barcelos out of there a fair few times, if I recall. But yeah, he'll be back, man. He's not a fraud. He is now 9-1. But yeah, he's got plenty of time. He's very young, 26, 28, I believe, something like that. So yeah. Barcelos is a vet, so not a big fan of him. I haven't really seen him fight, so yeah, we'll see what's next for both fighters. And yeah, Peyton is still my favorite fighter until Jack Della fights again, who is now fighting Leon. Very excited for that. Jack Della is my favorite welterweight. He's one of my favorite fighters in general. So until someone else comes along in the bantamweight division, or someone that just completely blows my mind, or something like that, then yeah, those two guys are still my favorite fighters. So yeah. Moving on to the next fight. So next up, moving on to the next fight, we've got the middleweights, Kevin Holland versus Ryan DeRitter. We'll just call him DeRitter for now. D Riddler. Again, for those who have listened to the previous podcast, I love Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland is definitely a fan favorite. He's still a favorite fighter of mine, just not with his recent decisions, I guess, in leaning towards his fight IQ, if you will. But yeah, I had Kevin going into this one. I thought for as long as it lasted. I thought it was going to go longer, to be honest. I thought it was going to be a good fight. Going into round one, we got DeRitter with an early takedown. And of course, you can't have a Kevin Holland fight without a bit of shit talking during the fight. So we had Kevin talking. I don't know what he said to DeRitter. I think he said something about his elbows hitting DeRitter with his elbows or something along those lines. DeRitter early on was doing really good with his ground and pound on Kevin. And Kevin was hitting him with a few good shots as well with the legs and stuff. Very unpredictable, very unorthodox from Kevin. But yeah, then shortly after, DeRitter submits Kevin Holland. Did not make it past the first round. A little bit fairly disappointing, I will say, from Kevin. I really thought Kevin was going to take this, but no, DeRitter took it out of Kevin's hands, and I swear when it comes to Kevin, either he has submissions, and I know he can submit. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Especially the newcomer, if he goes up against like another newcomer in the UFC. But yeah, it just sucks for Kevin, man. I don't think he'll retire anytime soon. He's not going to be a champ anytime soon. I don't think he wants to. He just wants to fight. He just wants to fight, I believe. So just wants to get paid, fight, and yeah, he's definitely, I would say, a company man for the most part. But yeah, it sucks for Kevin. We'll see what's next for him. DeRitter, on the other hand, he's finished 2. This is his second UFC fight, I believe. So he's finished Gerald Mearshart, I believe, or whoever it was, and now Kevin Holland. So yeah, he's opening a lot of doors, and he's in the middleweight division. So he has options there. So I believe he wants top 15 next. Correct me if I'm wrong. Top 10, top 15. But yeah, we'll see what next for him, and we'll see if he can make a fan out of me. So yeah. As for what's next for Kevin, man, Kevin was once ranked. I think he was a ranked middleweight. He wasn't a ranked welterweight. I could be wrong though. But yeah. So maybe give Kevin someone. It won't be ranked. That's for sure. I'm pretty sure it won't be. So yeah, we'll see next for what's next for Kevin, and yeah, I think that's all for that fight. Moving on to the next fight. I didn't really have a lot of interest in this fight, but I wanted to talk about it anyway. So next up, we have the heavyweights, Jailton Almeida versus Sergey Spivak. I'm not going to say Spivak. Going into this one, this was a tricky one to me. I don't know who I had. I had I don't know if I'm getting mixed up with another fighter, but maybe I'm getting mixed up with Cesar Almeida. Is it a fighter? I'm pretty sure there was an Almeida that lost to Curtis Blades or something like that. I don't know if that was the same guy, but maybe I had Sergey in this one. Regardless, I was expecting a knockout. A bit of back and forth with this one. Early on in the fight, we had Spivak doing some ground and pound, and yeah, I can't remember this fight too much, if I'm honest. I know, so Almeida took the back. A lot of quite a few big shots from Almeida, and then yeah, it was pretty much over from there. Spivak didn't really stand a chance. But yeah, come on, man, it's heavyweights. I expect a knockout. If it goes to decision, then it's not going to be a boring fight, but it's maybe the heavyweights. They're going to be throwing their all into the fight most of the time. So, they could get exhausted and stuff like that. Draining the gas tank. But yeah, these two guys were ranked, I believe. I think they were one above the other, something like that. But yeah, good for Almeida. Yeah, they're both in a bit of a weird position at the moment. But yeah, we'll see what's next for both fighters. I don't really like any of them, so yeah, that's it from that. Moving on. Now, I thought we just had the big boys. These are the light heavyweights. In my eyes, these are the big boys. So, we've got Yuri Prochazka versus Jamal Hill. Man, what a fight. I've got quite a few notes for this one. Going into this one, I had Prochazka winning. Although I could have seen Hill. A lot of people were saying, they're going back and forth from, who's going to win. And I saw a lot of people saying that Hill was going to outstrike Yuri, which I just thought was, insane. Although Hill does have good striking when he wants to. But yeah, like this was I thought this was going to get fight of the night until the co-main. So, yeah, I had Prochazka. Anything could have happened. And there was, right from the get-go, there was action early on. Now, there was a few times where Prochazka dropped Hill, which was fan-fucking-tastic. It was a big left, the first drop, I believe, he dropped Hill with. But yeah, the whole time I was just constantly thinking, what a fight. This fight, out of a few fights, did not disappoint. I'll tell you that right now. So I think we got a show with these two. So yeah, it was. I think it was one of, in my eyes personally, I think it was one of Yuri's least sloppiest fights. Although sloppy can make for very entertaining fights. They were both cracking each other, going back and forth. Some of the strikes were labored from Hill, especially from both, because Yuri has that awkward, unorthodox stance, moving around all the time, especially with his head movement. So end of round one, Yuri won that. All throughout round two, plenty of action. Now this is where the eye pokes came in. I think it was round two. I think it was round two or round three. Yeah, I think it was round two. So first off, we had an eye poke from Yuri. I don't know how serious the eye pokes were, and then we had an eye poke from Hill. So they kind of both poked each other in the eye. Nothing too serious, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, both had great exchanges. Both had good exchanges from both men. Hill was, if it went to a decision, Hill was most likely needing a finish. So obviously it didn't. So yeah, Hill looked. Hill was swinging for the Hills. He was every big shot missed definitely cost him a lot of his energy, so I think that affected him as well. And then for the second or third time, Yuri dropped Hill, so that was great to see. And then Yuri finished Hill by TKO, so Yeah, man, what a fight. This was a great fight. I'm going to have to rewatch it again. I've only watched the co-main twice now. Other than that, I haven't watched any of the other fights back. But yeah, I think the main card definitely was the highlight. If not, it was definitely the co-main in this fight. So going on from there, Yuri has a few options now. I would love to see another fight between him and Pereira. I don't know if a lot of people agree with me or not, but I mean, when those two fight, it's not even the stare down. Like, the stare down is a bonus going into the fight, but I mean, both fights between him and Pereira have not disappointed, at least not to my knowledge. So, and I've watched those fights a few times. So, yeah, I actually, you know what? I mean, because we do it anyway. We can play a bit of UFC matchmaker. So, if we go to the light heavyweight division. So looking now, Hill has moved down one time. Yuri is number 2. So now that we officially know Pereira will be fighting Ankalaev, those two are out of the question. And then we've got Jan, who's number 3. Jan will be fighting Carlos Olberg. That should be a good fight. To me, it looks like Yuri is in a position that if he wants to fight Pereira. He did say that, so he might have to wait a little bit. So I don't know how when he does want to get back in. So he might have to wait a little bit, unless he fights the winner of Jan and Olberg, then yeah, it looks like he's in a bit of a waiting position. I don't know if I don't think he wants to fight down. He really doesn't need to. So, I mean, because other than that, he also beat Rakic as well. So, yeah, to me it looks like he's in a waiting position, and yeah, light heavyweight top 5, bit of a tricky one as well. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Yuri. Hill on the other side. The other hand, I think Hill will need to wait a little bit as well, probably recover from the fight a bit, have some time off, unless he wants to get back in there as quick as possible. I would probably advise against it, but yeah, I mean, I still think I saw Hill's post. I know he still wants to go for gold, I believe. You know, you could have... I saw a post today, Hill versus Khalil Roundtree. Yeah, that could be a fight to make. But yeah, we'll see what the UFC wants to do with those two. But yeah, great fight, man. Great fight. Gonna have to watch it again, and yeah. Moving on to the next fight, we have the bantamweights again. Merab versus Umar. Really interesting. I'll tell you one thing right now. This fight exceeded my expectations. Yeah, absolutely exceeded them. And arguably so. It got fight of the night. So, which was a bit surprising. But, you know, it's... yeah, absolutely well-deserved. So going into this, I had Umar winning. My argument for Merab winning was he's now the champ. He has killer cardio, probably the best in the UFC at the moment, one of the best. And yeah, I think I was looking at a lot of the negatives with Merab, some of his losses, I guess. But then again, he's beaten some high level competition. And yeah, I had Umar winning this. I think I had him by decision. I think. I either had Umar or it was either Umar by decision or finish maybe, or Marab by decision. So, yeah, starting off with the fight, it was a bit of a feeling out process from both fighters. Early on, Umar was throwing some great combos. For those who don't know, Corey Sandhagen is also one of my favorite fighters. If not, he is my absolute favorite fighter of all time. So if you haven't seen it, please go watch Sandhagen versus Nurmagomedov. Umar, that is. Very technical fight. So yeah, Umar, I don't rush to go see Umar fights. But if he fights, I'll watch. So, I was going to say, his combos are, as much as he is a Nurmagomedov, he does throw some great combos. So, we're seeing some good combos from Umar. Bit of a cheeky flying knee as well, I believe. So that was pretty cool to see. I don't believe it landed. I do have to go and rewatch the fight. There's a few times where Merab was getting, I don't know what you want to say, rocked, a bit stunned from Umar's combos or something. But yeah, I don't think, as the fight was progressing, I don't think Merab was really going to have any issues with cardio. So, I believe the first and second. No, I was gonna say first round was definitely hard to score. Just trying to think. Yeah, it was a hard one to score. Both fighters were having really good exchanges. I think that stood out to me was, people say, me personally, I thought Sean O'Malley versus Merab was going to be really good. It wasn't that good, at least not to me. I thought there was going to be so you got a grappler, and then you got a striker in Sean O'Malley, right? So maybe I thought that it was going to be a lot more better than it was. This fight blows that fight out of the water. Maybe not blows, but it was comparably. What am I trying to say? Comparably better. It was better than that fight. That's what I'm trying to say. So there was a lot more striking in this fight than I thought there was going to be. And I was going to say, a lot of people say, when two wrestlers come together, it's just going to be a striking match. It's going to turn into a striking match. So that's kind of what this fight turned out to be. We had MMA in this fight. We had a lot of wrestling, a lot of grappling, a lot of great exchanges. And I think all of those blended in exceptionally well. So I think that's what made this fight. I think Merab's incredible cardio, fighting with, Umar's Nurmagomedov-esque, whatever you want to call it. Like, it was beautiful to watch. I'll have to go and rewatch this fight a couple more times just to kind of, break it down and analyze it. So yeah, man, it was great. There was I think you see it in the fight where Merab kind of throws Umar to the ground, and kind of, showboats to the crowd. I thought that was awesome. Yeah, it was like, Merab was kind of embarrassing Umar and the Nurmagomedov bloodline. Yeah, this fight had it all. Had a lot of exciting sequences. Really fun fight. This fight is a perfect example of why I love not just MMA, not just UFC, but the bantamweights in general. Bantamweights have been my favorite weight class for a long time. There are a lot of exciting bantamweights. I think, the bantamweight division is going to thrive for a very long time, and it has. It's thrived for years, so I think Sean O'Malley could take a few notes from this fight as well. He had I don't know if he had it the entire time, but he had a bit of a deadpan expression when he was in the crowd, it looked like. So, but this fight is how a title fight should be. Now I'm just trying to think. No, so Merab wasn't Sean's first defense. It was Cheeto, I believe. Even that fight, I'm just trying to remember. It had good moments, but I don't think it was a jump out of your chair moment kind of fight. But yeah, this is how a title fight should be. Exciting. A lot of energy going into it, a lot of hype. But yeah, I think these guys showed what it should be like in my eyes. So again, going back to Merab's gas tank, it's got to be one of the best in the UFC. Even when he does look like he's getting fatigued, he'll pick his opponent up and slam him to the ground, something along those lines. But it was really interesting to see. I don't know how fatigued Umar got in the Corey fight, but he was definitely feeling it in this fight, and I think, Merab had a lot to do with it. Maybe, I don't know, he thought he could best Merab's cardio. I guess not, though. Even though Umar has incredible cardio too. But yeah, I was thinking to myself, Merab is really enjoying this fight for himself. He's really getting into it. And I thought, maybe Umar has met his match. Merab has solved the Dagestani puzzle that is Umar Nurmagomedov. So, yeah, Merab hands Umar his first loss, which I think, if anyone was to do it, it's definitely Merab. But yeah, he has his first loss, which I don't think Umar's going away for a long time. I think he's going to stick around, and he's going to be at the top of the division for a long time. So, you know what? We're also going to check out the bantamweights now, because why not? Why the fuck not? All right. Let's see what we have here. This is exciting. So, Umar was number 2. I thought he was number 1. I swear he was number 1. Maybe I saw things. So he is now number 3. So you got Sean O'Malley, number 1. And then Piotr Yan, number 2. You can do quite a few things. My number 1 priority, and it's been on the fans' minds for a long time, they need to make Sandhagen versus O'Malley. The fans want to see it. I want to see it. Everyone's dead grandmother wants to see it. You need to make that fight this year, or I'm going to storm the UFC PI and hold Dana as hostage. That fight needs to be made one way or another. Jan could do, what could Jan do? Jan could, you could do Jan and Marab, maybe? Or maybe Piotr needs one more fight? I don't know. Sean, I mean, you could do a rematch. Because it's not like... Alright, well, let's put it this way. Who's Umar going to fight next? No one's going to want to fight him, right? He's one of the best. You could easily switch rankings with Sean and... Yeah, just Sean and Umar. Because I don't know how long Sean's good. Sean's great. He's been champ. I'm just trying to think of longevity, though. See, I think you know, someone could easily dethrone Marab if they wanted it enough. I'm just looking at top 5. I don't really... Davison is now kind of in the mix as well in this new division for him. Corey versus... you could do a rematch with Jan. You could do that. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Yeah, no... Unless someone puts their hand up, no one's going to want to fight Umar. You could do Umar versus Jan. Yeah, man. There are a few options. We'll see how a few fights pan out. We've got Rob Font, another favorite fighter of mine, fighting... Is Rob Font fighting soon? I thought he was. Yeah, he is, I believe. Unless I'm just smoking crack. Yeah, so he's fighting Dominic Cruz. Yep. So, I think Rob wins that one, and Cruz is not ranked. So, yeah, even though Rob is fighting down, let's see what... a win over Cruz could do him very well. Song Yudong is absolutely still a threat. Yeah. Corey has a lot of rematches in stock. But there's one rematch that it hasn't existed yet, which is Corey versus O'Malley. We need to see that. But yeah, not really looking at top 15, really. Cejudo's a funny one. Don't really want to talk about him. He needs to just stay retired, I guess. But yeah, it's really top 5 bantamweights that I'm really looking at the moment. So yeah, you got a few options there. But yeah, regardless, fight of the night, well deserved. And yeah, I'll definitely be rewatching that fight a few more times as well. All right, last but not least, we have the lightweight championship of the world. We have something in my hair. Islam Makhachev. I'm just not going to say his last name. Makhachev versus Manny Moicano. Hinato Moicano. I mean, this one was a no-brainer, man. I didn't see Moicano winning in any regard. The slip that Islam did, kind of, you know, when Islam was throwing... when Moicano was throwing his hooks and everything, his 1-2... You know, I thought for a second he might have, you know, rocked Islam, but it was just a slip. So that was definitely the most exciting part of the fight for as long as it lasted. I did write down it was going to be a quick fight. So, yeah, Moicano got off to a decent start. I did say it was a good start. I did write down it was a good start, but yeah, it was off to a decent start, and then it just wasn't. Of course, with every Islam fight, most Islam fights, shot for the takedown, got the takedown, and finished off Moicano with a D'Arce choke. So very quick fight. Again, Moicano, it was a last minute replacement for Arman going out of the fight, so which is very disappointing. I mean, if you have a back injury, it's a bit out of your control. So, but yeah, I was very much looking forward to Islam versus Sarukian. So, and the shit thing is, Dana has said that he won't be promised a title fight, which I think is just it's bullshit in my eyes. I think if anyone deserves a title shot, it is Arman. He has worked his way up. So, I'm going to go matchmaker again. Oh, a lot of matchmaking now. I might as well matchmake for every weight class now. So, what do we have? I just don't know why you don't give Arman another shot when he recovers. It's dumb. So now that we also have Gaethje versus Hooker confirmed, if Hooker wins that, I don't know if he will need one more. He'll probably need one more to fight Islam if he does win. It's going to be a hard fight though. I personally have Gaethje winning that fight, although it's going to be a war. And I found out as well it's going to be a 5-rounder as well. It can't be anything less. So yeah, Dan, make it count. We'll see who's the winner of that one. It could be Justin's last fight. I know he said he wants to have a couple more. Whereas Dan will probably just keep going until he dies, which I love. Charles, you could give it back to Charles because there's really... If Charles, hear me out. If Charles fights any one of the strikers again, Justin, Dustin, or... Yeah, that's about it, really. He's just going to submit them. Now, I did see someone say Max versus Charles. Now, I don't know if that fight has been like a rematch of like a fight in a featherweight division or something, in the featherweight division, or if they've never fought before. You could do that. You could do Max versus Charles. But yeah, again, just like Umar, I don't think a lot of people are going to, unless you're on a really good KO streak or, top 5, top 10, then you can face Islam. But really, I don't think Islam's going to, really go out. He's going to be champ for a while, I believe. I believe, similar to Ilya and Pantoja, I think Islam will definitely be champ for a while. Because, there's just no one that can... if anyone can beat Islam, I believe it's Arman. And I believe he had a really good shot of beating him. But sorry, I feels like I'm gonna sneeze. But yeah, we'll see what Justin and Dan produce, and cannot wait for that fight. So As what's next for more coin or for Moicano. So yeah, it was weird seeing a number 10 versus the champ. It was almost like seeing Khalil being number 7 or whatever he was at the time when he fought Pereira. It's weird seeing like a fairly high number rank versus a champ. But yeah, number 10 versus champ, that's weird. You don't see that often. So yeah, Moicano is literally top 10, top 15, whatever you want to call it. He could definitely fight up. He could fight Gamrot or Dariush, or Fazeev or Pimlet. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what's next for him. Yeah, I think that's about it. Now moving on to our next section. Let me grab my little notesy notes. So we haven't done we obviously haven't done an episode for a little bit. So since then, we've had the Game Awards, which for those who have seen, I have done a video reaction on it. I watched the whole thing, but I only edited my reactions to the best parts. So we saw quite a few games, right? My initial reaction after the Game Awards was I was a bit disappointed, but then I realized, seeing a lot of other reactors and stuff watch the Game Awards, I realized in hindsight it was a good Game Awards show. To me, it was just like I'm an Xbox player, right? So maybe I thought there was going to be more catered for me, like some more that I could be looking forward to. Witcher 4, for example, I've only played The Witcher 3 a little bit. I've done one video on it, 1 or 2 videos, one I think. So yeah, when it comes out, which will not be for a very long time, it might be a game that I could get into. It's not like I wrote the games down or anything. I'm just trying to remember what was shown and stuff. So I know that Naughty Dog's new game, Intergalactic, was shown at the very end. I mean, that's PlayStation, right? So obviously I can't play The Last of Us, so not really interested in The Last of Us anyway. I end the show, and the games were great. So, but it was just one of those games that I watched people play and watched the walkthrough and everything. So, yeah, very much looking forward to Season 2, though. What else? We can have a little look-see. Elden Ring Night Rain. I haven't played Elden Ring for... It's probably coming up to 2 years now, something like that. Yeah, I haven't played it for a long time. Souls-like is definitely not a genre for me, whatever you want to call it. I have, and I do rage quite easily, so I could get back into it. It is a standalone game, so I'll definitely look more into it. What do we got? Borderlands 4. Again, I've only done a few Borderlands 3 videos. I got into the franchise pretty late. Still not entirely into it, but I enjoyed myself. And I know number 3 wasn't exactly everyone's favorite, even though it was one of my first ones. Even though I played Borderlands 2 with Jackson. I believe it was Borderlands 2 on the 360. It wasn't 1. It could have been 1, but I believe it was 2. So yeah, we'll see what number 4 has in store, and see the price tag on it. Maybe it comes to Game Pass, maybe it doesn't. Again, we'll look into it and see what happens. No GTA 6 at this Game Awards. I was really... I'm sure a lot of people were looking forward to, but yeah, no, nothing about it, except for it was the it was voted the most anticipated game. So, what else? Was there anything else? Mafia. I could get into the Mafia games, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't played the Mafia game, so you never know. Could get into it. Turok. Man, that was a game that I was not expecting to see at the Game Awards. I'm down to play it for sure. I hadn't heard that name since I was very little, so yeah, it was great seeing that again. I'd be keen to get back into that again. Onimusha was a franchise game that I'd never heard of, but it looks, very Souls-like action adventure. So we'll see if it comes to Xbox and if it hasn't been announced already. And I'd be keen to give that a try. Because I don't know how many Souls-like games are coming out this year. I mean, because every year they do them, right? So I know the first Berserker, Kazan, as I'm recording this right now, the demo has been out for a few days. So yeah, it looks like it's got like an anime style to it. So yeah, you never know. But anything else? But yeah, like I said, I was just hoping I was looking forward to something being announced for Xbox players and more hype around it. But there's still even though things weren't announced there's still a lot coming out that we've going to be looking forward to. We've got GTA 6, hopefully still coming this year. I'm very skeptical, but it could be coming by the end of the year. September, October, November. Let's do it. I'm down for that. But yeah, what I've been playing most recently, for the times that I have been playing, Marvel Rivals. That is my favorite game at the moment. I've even been playing it over Black Ops 6. And I've got some Black Ops 6 content coming on the way, and I do need to get back into Black Ops 6. But yeah, I was starting to grind, and then obviously the grind got boring. But Marvel Rivals has been my chill out, relaxing time game. So even though I haven't, played ranked, yeah, I do plan on. I got to get a little bit better first, with playing the game in general. So but yeah, I've been playing Marvel Rivals, really enjoying it so far. Can't wait to see all the characters they add. But yeah, what else? Yeah, getting back into Black Ops 6. I will be finishing as I'm recording this. I will be finishing the Callisto Protocol on stream. I've just been a bit. I need to. It's one of those games where, I need to close my curtains and kind of let it be nighttime or whatever, just to get the atmosphere going in a horror game like that. So, yeah, very late finishing it. But I think I'm on the last mission, I believe. So, yeah, not long that. It could be a very short stream. So, yeah. Fortnite. Haven't played Fortnite for quite a while. I do plan on. I just stopped playing it for a bit. I think Marvel Rivals came along and kind of took over for a bit. So it's really cool. It's really good seeing everyone enjoying it. I'm glad everyone's enjoying it. I've been watching a lot of people play a lot of cool edited gaming videos. So yeah, I think I hope Rivals sticks around for a long time. sticks around for a long time, and yeah. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else I'm looking forward to that I haven't said already. I just posted a Stalker 2 video, so yeah, Stalker is a big game that I have to have the patience for, since I've never played it, and I'm still very much learning all the mechanics that come with the game. So here we go. So I've got a list on my phone that says games to look into, as into, you know, kind of deep dive into what they're about and stuff before they come out. Den of Wolves, for those who haven't heard of it. It looks like a co-op. I'm pretty sure it's a co-op heist game. I'm probably going to have to take that off the list because it doesn't look great. It doesn't look what I expected from the CGI trailer that we first got. And then the trailer, I think it was the trailer at the Game Awards, I believe. It was shown there or somewhere else. But yeah, it just doesn't, the graphics aren't nearly as good as what I thought they were going to be. Yeah, we'll see when that comes out, and then I've definitely got to see some gameplay on it before I decide. Doom, The Dark Ages, still very much looking forward to that. Haven't played Doom for a long time, so I do love the Doom games, and who doesn't love a bit of Doom guy, right? So yeah. Delta Force Hawk Ops, still waiting for that to come to Xbox. Still very keen to play that. It'll scratch my extraction shooter itch that I have. I haven't had it for a while, actually, because I've been busy and distracted by Marvel Rivals. So yeah, I've told you guys previously, I love the extraction shooter genre, whatever you want to call it. I may not be the best at them, but I do enjoy them. That's, you know, I played DMZ for so long, even though I only didn't start to learn the proper mechanics of the game until very, very late. Like, I'm still a newbie, but I would, you know, I enjoyed playing it for what it was, because that scratched my extraction shooter itch. So Arc Raiders is another one. I don't remember seeing a date. I could be wrong, but we got a trailer semi recently, a few months ago it'd be now, which the gameplay looked good. I don't want to say promising, but it definitely looked up my alley. So yeah, looking forward to that. I believe it is coming to console, so yeah, the video kind of explained a little bit what the game was, so yeah, that was good. So we'll see what happens with that, and yeah, I'm still very much looking forward to games that are coming out. Still need new games to play, even though I've kind of I did have a game rotation going on, like between 4 games, but I've kind of just let Marvel Rivals get up to the very top and me neglecting all the other games. So, but hey, we'll see what happens. And yeah, so that's kind of what I'm playing at the moment, looking forward to as well. And yeah, I think we'll end that episode there. Maybe a bit of a short one, long one, depending on what that timer says. But yeah, it's good to be back. We shall be at UFC 312, I believe, with the next episode. I mean, realistically, we could do Adesanya versus Imavov. Either that, or we'll be at 312. Most likely be 312, since it is so it's an Aussie card from Australia, so very much looking forward to this. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Leave any questions that you have or would like to know down below. And yeah, I appreciate you sticking around, watching me, listening to me ramble on about some fights and video games. And yeah, I'll see you guys for the next episode. Peace.